Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about some more breaking news regarding Ripple, XRP, Chainlink, and in addition to that, we're also going to talk about a potential top signal. Yeah, a potential top signal. What's going on? Why is it happening? Who even knows anymore? I'm WendyO. Welcome back to the O Show. Everything crypto, every single day. Let's go ahead and, really kind of dive into it because there's a lot of exciting things happening. Also, too, okay, good. You guys can see me on the YouTube, I think. If you can see me on YouTube, there we go. All right. We're just having a little bit of technical difficulties over here, but we got it. Also, good morning to Miss Oaks, to Mr. D, and everybody else that's joined me for today. But let's go ahead and get into it because there's a lot of stuff happening. Oh my gosh. Okay, first and foremost, this just dropped on X this morning. And is this a top signal or not? Well, from New York Post, how to buy PEPE coin, and is it a good investment? So they have this entire article about it. And generally, when you talk about when you see mainstream media talk about crypto, then, some people call it a top signal. I don't know, though. I don't know. But really kind of paying attention to a lot of the fundamental news, this is important. USDC is now live on the XRPL. And this actually matters because we know that Ripple is in the stablecoin game, and they're also one of the bankers' coins. So with the launch of native USDC on XRPL, devs, institutions, and users gain support of the world's largest regulated stablecoin, which that is true. USDC Circle is extremely regulated. Tether's a lot more profitable. They've been around a lot longer, but Circle is a lot more regulated, I would say. I don't want to necessarily say more regulated, but they're very, very, very much by the book. But Tether is so big. And there's been stuff back and forth with them all the time, which, we can go about that any way, shape, or form. But this is going to be important because this essentially expands liquidity onto XRPL. And XRPL is good for XRP. So there's no bridging needed. You can Circle, Mint, and Circle API support USDC on XRPL, allowing for easy access to liquidity. Liquidity is a key word here. Without liquidity, number doesn't go up. Without liquidity, you don't really have a top 100 crypto project. USDC on XRPL can be used for payments, cross-border remittances, dApps, trading, and fiat on and off ramps. Businesses can apply for Circle Mint accounts to convert fiat to USDC on XRPL. And that's actually really cool. The reason why that's cool is because we do know that we are going to have the Genius Act approved pretty soon. With that being said, once we get the Genius Act, that's all about stablecoins, and that's coming. I've got an update for you guys soon. Good morning, gorgeous Alexandra. Good morning. All right, let's go ahead and get back into it because I'm going to start getting all over the place. But we are going to talk about the Genius Act because if the Genius Act doesn't pass, then stablecoins will really mean nothing. Okay, so this next story over here. Apparently, this is Mr. Brad Garlinghouse talking. And again, you always do need to verify everything, every piece of media you see on the internet, just to make sure that it's not AI. Because AI has gotten so good. And again, we do our best over here, but at the same time, I always want to encourage you all to do your due diligence. So let's go ahead and hear what Mr. Brad Garlinghouse says about Ripple, Swift, yourmom.com.
It's 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
So,
it's for a dumb reason.
Swift today, there's two ways to think about Swift. There's the messaging, and there's liquidity. Right. Liquidity is owned by the banks. Right. I think less about the messaging and more about liquidity. Because if you're driving all the liquidity, that's good for XRP. Right. Anyway, so I'll say 5 years, 14%. 5 years.
The reason why I sped it up is I don't want to get hit. But basically, how much of Swift will XRPL take? And Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, came on in this interview. I want to say it is at, what event is this? Is Singapore 2025, XRP Apex Singapore. And he says that XRP could capture 14% of Swift's global payments volume within 5 years. And he highlights that Swift's liquidity component controlled by banks as XRP's main opportunity. And XRP reportedly offers on-demand liquidity for faster, more affordable cross-border payments compared to Swift. Now, have I used Swift? I don't remember. I have used Swift. You have to for international transfers. So this is just another little trophy that they have on their shelves of trophies over here. And then last but not least, well, there are actually a couple other stories that we have to talk about with XRP, Ripple, etc. This story comes from CoinTrack Daily, but apparently XRP ETF verdict looms. June 17th decision could trigger price surge amid institutional inflows. So every single ETF spot approval that gets every single ETF spot that gets approved, they're saying it could trigger $8 billion worth of capital coming into each market cap. Now, over here, polymarket odds for this approval in 2025 dropped from 98 to 88%. And I agree with them. I don't think that XRP ETF is going to get approved first. I think that we're going to see like the HBARs, the Solana, Litecoin. I think they're going to do some of the other ones first. XRP is coming, in my personal opinion, for sure. But at the same time, it's going to take more time because, again, the Ripple legal case still is open, and the SEC is going to submit their procedural status report by June 16th. No final ruling expected. So it's probably going to take another 6 months. Maybe, I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger. But they have the spot ETF. The decision is due on the 17th. They're going to delay it, just like they did. Just like they did HBAR and Polkadot, in my opinion. And then this over here, this is from RU Today. RLUSD is top 3 traded stablecoin on Bitstamp, top executives reveal. This is not really a big story over here. And the reason why this isn't a big story, because there's not a whole lot of stablecoins, right? We've got like RLUSD, so we have Tether, USDC, RLUSD. So to me, that's not super, super bullish exciting. It's more so like, cool, that's awesome that more people are using it. But at the same time, it's not really a big thing for me. And make sure you guys smash a like too. Make sure you guys smash a like and all that stuff and share this. So, good morning, Mr. Gamer. Good morning. Good morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto market. Actually, we're going to get started on the Genius Act first, and then we'll go to the crypto market because this is an important story because Genius Act is part of the whole stablecoin regulation. If stablecoin regulation doesn't get approved, then we are going to see a setback in the crypto markets and with crypto in general. I don't like the Genius Act. I'm not a supporter of it, but at the same time, I understand if we want an altcoin season, if we want number to go up, that does need to get approved. But I'm not a fan of it, and that's okay. I'm here to grift as ethically and legally alongside everybody else. So for the Genius Act, a cloture was invoked. Now the clock starts. Lawmakers can proceed to vote on the amendment, and this is from Miss Ellie from Crypto America. This is cloture on the Haggerty Amendment, which makes changes to the Genius Act to gain Democratic support. After the cloture period ends, there will be a vote to adopt the amendment. So basically, the cloture, in my personal opinion, is going to be they're just negotiating back and forth with all the different parties because you have the red versus blue and everybody in between. So basically, they're going to continue to modify and update this until both parties agree on it because they want to get this to push through. However, that doesn't mean that the bill is not full of a bunch of junk, and that it doesn't mean that it's going to trigger CBDC. That's all that it is. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it, but at the same time, it is what it is, and we don't really have a lot of control. So that's what's going on with the Genius Act. Also, too, actually, let's read a little bit more about what a cloture is. That's important for you guys to know because you might hear about this more. So a cloture is a procedure to end debate on bill or nomination and move it forward to a vote. So they nominated, they're debating, going back and forth. I don't know why they didn't. I don't know why they have to use not plain English, but whatever. It's used to stop a filibuster or extended discussion. The bill faces a full floor debate. The Senate Majority Leader started a 30-hour clock before the final vote, expected by June 16th or 17th. So we should have an update next week, June 16th or 17th, about the Genius Act. I think it's going to pass at this point. Senator Bill Haggerty introduced an amendment easing some partisan objections. A redemption on bans, that's what it was. Some Democrats still oppose the bill, citing risks to national security and financial stability. This is a bunch of BS. They always talk about safety, but at the end of the day, I don't understand how it's a risk to national security or financial stability. Or maybe financial stability, yes, with the US dollar, but national security, if anything, it makes it a lot more secure to transact because you can track everything. Cash, you can't. If fully passed, the Genius Act must be reconciled with the House version, the Stable Act, before coming law. If Senate passes the final bill with Haggerty Amendment, House could pass it without a conference committee speeding enactment. So next week is going to be a big week, the 16th and the 17th, which is going to be Monday, Tuesday. Also, really quickly over here. hold on. This is Scott Bessent. He says $2 trillion is reasonable for stablecoin market in the U.S. And the reason why we're bringing this up is because it's important, because we're talking about the Genius Act and we're talking about Ripple's RLUSD and whatnot. So Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says stablecoins could exceed $2 trillion in market cap by 2028. And I agree with him, especially if the Genius Act is passed. Sees stablecoins as key strengthening to dollars global dominance. Emphasize legislation requiring stablecoins to be backed by high quality assets like T-bills, aka they want to be able to print that MF as much as they can, just like the dollar. And eventually, the physical dollar will go away and we will all be using the digital dollar. Administration committed to preserving and enhancing dollars reserve currency status, and stablecoin adoption seen as expanding global USD usage. Bessent believes $2 trillion is very reasonable and actual growth could surpass that. So this is telling us that these people are really trying to push through the Genius Act. They want to get these stablecoins. They want to flood money into the market and they want number to go up. Now, while we're talking about number to go up, let's get into what's going on with the crypto markets. Right now, we're down a little bit. And you know what? That's good. That's good. We're down a little bit bigly right now. Virtual is down 11%. FET, even though they have that big announcement, down 7%. Algo 7.4, Bonk 8%. The market's not looking super great. But on the weekly, we're still up a little bit, right? Now let's take a look at what's going on. Oh, that makes sense. Bitcoin is dropping. So Bitcoin is dropping, number is going down, and we are seeing number go down. So me personally, I'm just looking for consolidation between 102 and about $111,000. We got a swing low to $106,000. So a lot of people were shorting too quickly earlier this week. I think 100 million was liquidated in shorts, and it is looking like we're going to drop a little bit more. We do have support at 105, and then we've got support at 102. Ethereum is still holding on decently. We were trying to break above this other important area of resistance at 2,800, which you can see all this consolidation over here back in beginning of the year. So it does look like we might actually drop back down into consolidation between $2,700 and $2,500. Solana also dropping, looking like we're going to lose 156 support. SUI, same situation. XRP, same situation. Link is just back in the support range, $14.75, and we got a Link story too, and $13. ADA, 67. And HBAR is just really nicely in this little pocket over here. So overall, I want to say overall, everything's kind of dropping right now. We all have key areas of support we should be paying attention to. So is this good or bad? Well, again, we're getting close. We're getting real close over here, but no cigar yet. And again, with all the Ripple and the XRP and the Chainlink and the HBAR and all that stuff happening, things are going to start moving. But this story didn't help over here with the New York Post PEPE. Now let's go ahead and get into, this was the stablecoin. This is Cointelegraph. So this is from Mr. T over here. Okay, let's go ahead and see what Mr. T's got to say. Let's see what our settings are. Why is it? Oh, let's go ahead and play this. President Trump says they created Bitcoin strategic reserve, but aren't done yet, and vows to clear and simple market frameworks to ensure U.S. Bitcoin and crypto dominance. Okay.
At the Coinbase State of Crypto Summit, I'm delighted to speak to some of the greatest visionaries and pioneers in the fields of tech and finance who are working to build a future.
I can't really hear this. It's recorded really low, but I did listen to it earlier. I know you guys probably can't hear it, but basically he wants to continue to allow crypto to grow in America, which makes sense because people pay taxes. It's a business and money flows back into the U.S. So we like that. But basically he discussed how he ended Biden's war on crypto, which he did. He ended Operation Chocolate 2.0, which he did. So he's kept all his crypto promises. The other stuff I don't want to really discuss too much because he's a crypto channel. But for the most part, he kept all his crypto promises. He does need a free Roman, the developer, and the Samurai Wallet guys, developers for the mixers. I don't think that's right. Anyways, Trump created the first presidential working group on digital assets, appointed a pro-crypto SEC chair, created the strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile, but we're not done yet. And he's working to pass the Genius Act, which the Genius Act I don't like, and I also don't like the big bill that he has either. Working to create clear and simple market framework that will allow the U.S. to dominate the future of crypto. And of course, because this comes from the Trump card. Okay. So for $5 million, a Trump card is coming. Thousands have been calling and asking how they can sign up to ride a beautiful road, gaining access to the greatest country and market anywhere in the world. It's called the United States of America. The waiting list is now open to sign up. So what is this hell is this Trump card? Because I've seen it. It basically aims to attract wealthy investors who contribute to the economy. Oh, it may replace the existing EB-5 visa program. I don't like this at all. This requires 1 million, 5 or 800 million or 800,000 investment. Application criteria beyond the fee is unclear, but will include vetting. Apparently it's a path to citizenship. I don't like it. I don't. I don't like it. I don't. I'll tell you why I don't like it. First and foremost, I don't like the wealth gaps we create in the country. Yeah, if you want wealthy people to come, great, fine, fantastic. I don't like wealth gaps. I don't like the accredited investor law. I think it's trash. And I think that people should be based on their ability to contribute in a reasonable manner, not based on wealth. They should be, if they handle all their own business and they don't cause problems, cool, fine, fantastic. But this is dumb. I don't like it. I got to be real with you. Shout out to Mr. John Germain and gorgeous Alexandra and Mr. R. Now, this next thing over here, Ethereum. Ethereum Foundation outlines key security challenges facing the network in new report. Oh no, can we just have our damn bags pump? Anyway, 6 focus areas identified: UX, smart contracts, infra cloud, resilience, consensus strength, monitoring, and governance. It is part of the $1 trillion security initiative to harden Ethereum's security. If you probably would have kept it on proof of work, it would have done a little bit better, but I digress. I'm not a tech person. The next step is prioritize issues and work with ecosystem on solutions. Main goal is to prepare Ethereum for global financial adoption with enterprise grade security. One of the things I want to say about Ethereum is this pisses me off is why didn't we do this like last cycle? Why were we focusing so much on layer 2s? You saw Solana last cycle. You saw all these layer 1s come out. So why weren't you focused on what was good? Like, why weren't you focused on what was important, what mattered at the time, instead of dragging this on? So that's my issue. But I'm an Ethereum bag holder. I'm going to sell most of it. $10,000 Ethereum. Woo! Next, Ethereum leverage at all-time high as BlackRock ramps up accumulation. Again, BlackRock is not buying it. It is the ETF holders. However, the Ethereum blockchain may be used for various things in traditional finance. So Ethereum futures open interest at an all-time high above 20 billion. This signals increased leverage and speculative activity according to Bean Crypto. Glassnode attributes the surge to cash margin contracts increasing volatility. Retail participation in Ethereum derivatives are rising sharply, and BlackRock spot ETFs or ETFs customers added 163.6 million in Ethereum across 2 weeks. Whales are also accumulating Ethereum from top exchanges. That is true. Also, I was featured in the Forbes article, kind of talking. Shout out to you, Queen. I was thinking about the Forbes article that I commented on, but basically 28% of all Ethereum. The heck, all Ethereum is staked. So they wouldn't be staking it. The ecosystem wouldn't be working, or the ecosystem usage wouldn't be increasing if they didn't plan for number to go up. So I'm betting on that. And I think Gamer says 8,000. Now another layer 1, Aptos. So apparently their DEX volume hit historic highs amid liquidity surge. I'm not a Aptos holder, but congratulations to them. And they're also a layer 1 project. Now, Solana's got some news too. So DeFi adding 5 billion of Solana buying power with new line of credit. The move will allow NASDAQ-listed firm to add 609,000 Solana as of May 16th. So let's go and read this story over here. So DeFi Development secured a $5 billion equity line of credit with RK Capital Management. DeFi Development was formerly a real estate financing company, and they're also a NASDAQ-listed firm. NASDAQ-listed is important because when you are a public trading stock, that means you have shareholders and you have people you have to appease and you have rules that you need to operate within. And plus, there's a lot more disclosures and different things that need to be due to the SEC. So anytime I see a NASDAQ-listed firm, that makes me a little bit more excited for the future because I'm like, okay, they're worth billions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever that is. They're paying attention to Project X. I need to as well. Recently adopted a treasury policy under which the principal holding in its treasury reserve is allocated to SOL. New equity line will be used to increase their Solana holdings, and the company can sell shares as needed pending SEC paperwork. The current hold over 609,000 Solana worth approximately 96 million. Yes. Hi, finish your business, your chores. Thank you. The firm recently withdrew a previous 1 billion share sale filing, planning to refile. And that share sale was also for Solana acquisition. So again, they are going to continue to buy Solana, and they will continue to create traditional financial instruments to print or to earn more fiat that you can print to buy finite assets. And this one's actually a pretty big one for Hedera here and BitGo. I like BitGo. Basically, I see BitGo eventually being the one-stop shop to really custody all crypto, because that's what they're doing, and they work with so many people. But Hedera council member BitGo is solving critical challenges in digital asset management, from custody to settlement with secure regulated infrastructure. BitGo leverages Hedera's high throughput and predictable fees to deliver institutional-grade services with confidence. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. BitGo is an incredibly reputable company. They manage over 100 billion in assets, support over 1,100 digital assets, serves over 1,500 institutions across 90 countries, and operates highly regulated jurisdictions: New York, Germany, Singapore, Dubai. And integration with Hedera in 2021 was driven by technical strengths. BitGo wouldn't partner with Hedera or work with them in any capacity if they didn't think that they were legit. And BitGo is very strict with everything they do. I know the team; they're awesome. BitGo joined the Hedera Council in 2024, which means they're running a node, I believe. Hedera aligns with BitGo's vision for compliant, utility-driven DLT use in institutional finance, and it runs a node, plays a key. Yep, I knew it. Plays a key role in ecosystem growth and governance, and BitGo is also helping onboard financial services projects to Hedera, including custody for the HBAR ETF. To me, that means, I'm not going to say it, but shout out to Hedera. And now we got to talk about Chainlink. So Chainlink's JPMorgan Ondo Finance, Chainlink, JPMorgan Ondo Finance complete cross-chain treasury settlement. Let's read what this is and why this is important for Chainlink. So basically, Chainlink and JPMorgan's bank-led 1 minute blockchain connexus and Ondo completed their first cross-chain delivery versus payment settlement. Delivery versus payment, or DVP settlement, is where the transfer. If you want to play with your friend now and you did all your chores, that's fine.
Wait, can I say hi to your son?
Yeah, you can say hi, but they can't see you. You can open the door. Oh, you look pretty in that outfit.
Thank you.
Do you want to say hi? Okay, you can say hi.
Hello, everybody. I am Flo, and I am Wendy's Dada.
Yeah. All right, say have a good day, guys.
Have a great day.
Okay, say bye.
Adios.
Adios, amiga.
Hey, Mama, I love you.
I love you too. I'm almost done. Okay?
Yay, then I can get my huggies.
Yeah.
Mama,
What?
all I need to do is just put away my clothes.
Okay, go do your laundry then. Thank you. You're doing great this morning. I'm very proud of you. When you're done with your laundry, you can get all the hair stuff out so we can make your hair gorgeous for the day. And then if you want to hang out with your friends until we have to go, then yeah. Okay, goodbye. I love you. Okay, go. So what happens when you're a mom? How fun. Okay, let's get back to the story though. So I still hear you. Okay. They don't want to hear pitter patters. They want to hear mommy talk, so that mommy wants to get done so we can go run our errands. Bye. All right. So this story is Chainlink, JPMorgan, Ondo Finance, and they complete their cross-chain treasury settlement. This kind of coincides what we saw earlier with JPMorgan this week and Ondo. I think I'm going to have to refresh my memory on that. Also, too, JPMorgan partnered with BlackRock to utilize a Bitcoin spot ETF as collateral for loans. So this is all connected. So it's DVP, or delivery versus payment, and it's a settlement where the transfer of assets happens only if the payment is made simultaneously. That's cool. So transfer of assets with the payment. So it's like this. So this is great for real estate, honestly. It ensures buyer receives the asset only when the seller gets paid, and the seller gets paid when the buyer receives the asset. Exchange was done between a permissionless payment network and a public RWA blockchain testament. RWAs, if used Chainlink's runtime environment to coordinate the transactions, and the token involved was Ondo's tokenized U.S. Treasury Fund, OUSG. Ondo backs OUSG using BlackRock tokenized fund, BUIDL, BUIDL. Cool stuff, right? Cool stuff. I don't know why it's not showing me how many people are watching right now. Anyways, you guys, I got to get going because we got to go run errands and I've got some phone calls and got to do some stuff. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to smash a like, share this. Congratulations to the XRP Army. Shout out to Chainlink. Shout out to HBAR and everybody else. Okay. I'm going to post another video for you at 2 p.m. PT. So stay tuned for that. Bye-bye.